sounds pretty good. Maybe we'll keep that in. All right. Hello and welcome, everybody. I'm here with Mason again. No Jacob, unfortunately. No Heath either. Wish all of them well right now. Today we're doing another installment in the Tarkovsky Tuesdays series. Getting a little bit out of order with the chronology of when his films were released. Today we're doing his final film, in my opinion. He's magnum opus.
Okay.
The Sacrifice.
Okay.
1986.
Is this your favorite film ever?
It very well might be.
Okay, nice.
It's probably 2 if it's not 1. Some Bergman movie, you know.
Okay. Or are you gonna say Fan and Alexander?
It might be, yeah. Maybe you'll get that.
We have not
soon.
finished
No,
it.
but oh my gosh. Yeah.
But this is not about Bergman. This is Tarkovsky.
No, yeah. I'm gonna have to recenter myself because, I mean, Mason and I joke, I gravitate towards Bergman's work, even though I absolutely love Tarkovsky. He's always been a Tarkovsky guy.
Yeah. But I'm also the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Bergman.
But that said, just watching this film, I mean, it's just like, it's masterful in every single category. Like, it's kind of, I don't know, it doesn't really get much better than The Sacrifice.
Not for me.
If you have never seen this film and you're hearing us hype it like this, it doesn't mean that it's 2.5 hours of riveting dialogue and
I think they know that
car chase sequences. No, it's really Tarkovsky in his most self-indulgent state. It's
just literally just a parable. Like it's just like subtext, subtext, and
it's like a parable within a parable almost.
Sure.
Yeah. But I mean, everything about this is fantastic. I mean, well, first of all, it's kind of fitting that we're talking about Bergman here.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
I
go
shouldn't
ahead.
say this is not
It
about
almost
Bergman
is.
because it kind of is.
Yeah. Why is it Tarkovsky's best film? Well,
yeah. So, I mean, in my opinion, I would say Tarkovsky's the greatest director of all time, and I would say Bergman's probably too. I mean, I think you could put Kubrick up there, but this was not co-directed. Bergman had nothing to do with this.
No.
But his fingerprints are all over it because of the talent and the
location.
And the location and the technical people that worked on it.
Yeah.
Namely, Sven Nykvist, who is Bergman's longtime cinematographer. He shot this.
Persona?
We're talking Persona.
Auto Sonata?
We're talking Auto Sonata.
Oh, Fanny and Alexander?
Yeah.
Well, that was later, so.
Yeah. Well, we're talking any Bergman film that you can think of, he definitely shot. So,
dude.
Who I think is they're talking about Dostoevsky. Cool. Who I think is the best cinematographer to ever live.
Not gonna argue with that.
And then the location's very Bergman-esque. And
isn't it on the island or is it not?
No, I was reading. I think it's on a different island.
Okay.
It's not on Faro.
Gotcha.
Where he shot like all his films. But
what about personnel?
Yeah, I mean your main man here, and then Josephson is, he's been in Scenes of a Marriage. He's been, he was in Fanny and Alexander. He's been in a ton of Bergman, and there's a ton of other actors.
My personal favorite.
Very
Olaf.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
He's in Fanny. He's in my
favorite.
Otto. Oh, sorry.
Otto,
yeah. Not Olaf. My bad.
Frozen.
Sorry. Don't kill me. My favorite performance from him is probably in Winter Light. He is phenomenal.
We're talking about the Otto character.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
I mean, Bergman's crew, they all come from a theatrical background, so to me, it's so obvious. You can tell. They're just so, like, you believe them on a deeper level because I think they're so much more in tune with, like, the craft of acting, if that makes sense. I don't know. It it translates so beautifully. And that's not to
they're just so technically
say
skilled.
anything about
it's hard to
non-theater actors. Sure. But I mean, think about it.
It's hard to get any better.
I like a little show called Succession. It wrapped about a year and a half ago, little under. And interestingly enough, once the show wrapped, Jeremy Strong is in a play on Broadway. I don't even know if it's Broadway, but it's somewhere in New York, and it's Michael Imperioli from the Sopranos is in that as well. Sarah Snook just did like a what do you call it when it's just one person? She acted like 26 different parts. It was like a Shakespeare retelling. I forget.
I don't know what you call that, but that's kind of
Hold on, let me look that up really quick.
And then Culkin is just making art house films.
Like Scott Pilgrim. Scott Pilgrim Peak.
Kind of mid.
Actually, okay. Sorry, remember when I said this was number 2?
Oh no.
It was Scott Pilgrim at no 1.
Okay.
Okay. Let's.
Let's get the term.
Oh, she was doing Dorian Gray. That's crazy.
Oh wow,
that must be hard.
Something else.
So yeah, she was at the Theatre Royal Haymarket in London.
She was also in that horror movie, right? Like last year.
I think so. Yeah.
What I'm talking about.
And yeah, she plays all the characters. It's crazy.
That is crazy.
But yeah, there's something to be said about actors who have backgrounds in theater, sure. And it translates a certain way.
So basically, what we're saying is
everything.
You're taking the best technical and acting aspect from Bergman and putting it under the direction of who I think is the greatest director of all time. Well, that's a pretty good recipe.
Yeah,
that's a very good recipe for success.
Yes, and I would call it pretty successful.
Yeah.
So before you discuss anything, I mean, I think that the crux of this film is in the sort of parable or allegory of it all, in the adoration of the Magi. That is at the core.
The very opening.
Of the film, and that's pretty much everything. I mean, that paired with the first shot, you have everything that Tarkovsky's trying to say in like 6 minutes, because the credits are long, but...
Very,
yeah.
It's really just an extension of nostalgia, and I know we haven't done nostalgia yet. Erland Josephson is also a nostalgia.
Oh yeah, he is. That's right.
Don't forget about that.
Yeah, so it's not his first go around with Tarkovsky, but no, if you've seen all of Tarkovsky's films, it's weird because I watched Nostalgia after The Sacrifice, but it is so clear that like everything has been building towards this, and not to knock on like Tarkovsky's style at all, but he's very much like recycles material from his films. Like in Nostalgia. But in both these films, the protagonist is faced with a task that basically, you know, the fate of the world is resting on the main character to do this task that seems to be very, you know, trivial or benign, and kind of as a viewer, you're like, this doesn't matter. But there's always sort of a, call it spiritual, call it superstitious, call it, you know, supernatural. There seems to be forces at play. And so you're like, this seems really weird, and it seems like it would have no effect at all. But you believe Tarkovsky and you believe the character.
There's a physical plane and there's a non-physical.
And so in the physical plane, the character's doing something really silly, like carrying a candle across a dried up riverbed, or in the case of Nostalgia, And I mean, we'll talk about the 3 times stuff later when the time comes, but in the case of The Sacrifice, it's, you know, he has to go seduce a woman.
I mean, I think that Alexander is
to save the world.
Character's name. I think that Alexander continues the kind of main characters since Stalker. I think Stalker and onward, that are really just Tarkovsky like writing himself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're self-inserts for sure.
Yeah, sure. And they're all kind of tasked with the same thing, and they're all very like close.
And the fate of the world is always at stake, and and this is his most nihilistic film. I mean, so I do want to cover like what the Adoration of the Magi is, and like yeah. So, the Adoration of the Magi is a painting by Da Vinci. I don't know what year it is.
Unfinished.
I believe it is.
That's what I'm. Unfinished masterpiece.
Oh, is that what the?
No, I'm just reading an article.
Interesting.
From an article. I believe it is unfinished.
I
don't know how unfinished it is, but
yeah, it was a painting by Da Vinci. It's said to be unfinished, and it depicts Mary holding a baby Jesus surrounded by the three magi, and then outside of that immediate circle is sort of the secular world. And Tarkovsky spends a lot of time focusing on is that Monkey? Is that the character that played Monkey? No way. Okay.
So, no.
Yeah.
There's not enough
I was tripping time
like
that.
That kind of looked like her though.
Yeah. But yeah, he spends a lot of time examining what's outside of just he spends a lot of time on Jesus and Mary. Like when he pans, there's a few different sequences in the film where he shows the painting.
Rublev-esque.
Yeah.
At the end.
And of course he focuses on Mary and Joseph, but he also spends a lot of time showing what's outside of that, and it's a secular society. And then you pair that with the first shot of the film, which is a sapling, like a baby tree.
Mm-hmm. Alexander planting or watering.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's hard.
Who's the main character, the father, and with the son, Little Man. Shout out Little Man.
Little Man's an OG.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a name. Is very similar to Monkey. Is basically mute the entire film.
Yep.
At the very end.
Mm-hmm.
He does say something.
But they're definitely like a Christ figure, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially
again, it's kind of just like he's just kind of rehashing the same thing, but in different ways.
Because Monkey is absolutely a Christ figure. Little Man is most definitely a Christ figure, especially when you pair that with the painting and the age of him and him watering the tree at the end. I mean,
yeah.
Well, sure. Yeah. But yeah, all these films, I mean, essentially, it's about faith. It's about faith and the lack of faith in a secular world and
this is what I was gonna ask
decline
you.
of society. Yeah.
Is this his most spiritual religious film? Because they all are.
I don't know if it is. I don't think I would say it is.
What would you say it is?
Probably Stalker.
Okay. Because
Stalker it's so much.
It's definitely between Stalker and this for me. I think I might go with this.
Interesting.
Maybe. I mean, this is really. I mean, we'll get to this later.
I think this
I think
more on the society than the.
Yeah, but I think the big thing that might take it over the edge for me is Alexander's, like, just prayer of. Like, he is just like.
Yeah.
In suffering, he was like, and he's saying like, I will do anything.
Yeah.
To like save my family.
Mm-hmm. And the whole notion of sacrifice, it's shown in several different. Many of his films. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's kind of biblical, plain and simple, mm-hmm. the whole idea of a crucifixion that was sacrificial.
Sure.
So yeah, there's many layers to dissect in Tarkovsky's work, and more often than not, if you're wondering if something is symbolism, it is. And if you're wondering if that symbolism pertains to anything spiritual or, linked back to Christianity, which, he was devout throughout his lifetime, it probably does.
Russian Orthodox,
yeah.
Yeah. Very. If you think it means anything religious, it does.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's just his bread and butter.
So, yeah, we're paired with the image of the Adoration of the Magi, Da Vinci's painting, which is gifted. It's genius. So that's the opening crawl, sort of the credits. and we see the painting. Then there's like a fantastic, really slow monologue after we see Alexander planting the tree, which is, a symbol for faith. Yeah.
In
Essentially,
Tarkovsky's words, faith.
Hope, yeah, he said it himself. Yeah.
So, yeah.
I interpret it as hope or, something akin to that.
Sure.
But yeah, after Alexander meets Otto, he's gifted the painting, correct, for his birthday present, right?
Yep.
Or is he gifted the map?
No, he's gifted the map.
Okay, so he has the painting already?
I guess.
Okay.
I don't know if we know that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that they flip through the book of all the the Christ paintings and stuff.
Yeah, the icons.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's in his house and I don't know.
No, I think is the painting not in his house. Maybe not. I don't know. It's been a couple months since we watched this, so if there's any inaccuracies, I apologize. But this is all setting the scene for basically the big plot point that doesn't really get unveiled until about 45 minutes ish in.
Probably maybe a little longer.
Yeah. So it's Alexander's birthday. That's the big thing. Yep. And that's why he gets the present, the map for his birthday present. Otto and his wife are over. Wait, no. Is that Otto's wife?
Is who Otto's wife?
Is she Otto's wife?
No, that's Alexander's wife.
Okay. And then that's his daughter.
Yes.
See, yeah, this...
I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
What does it really matter? I mean,
it doesn't.
The daughter doesn't really matter.
No.
Now, an important character that we haven't brought up is Maria. She is very important.
Yeah. Very. She's probably the most important character.
Yeah, other than Alexander.
Yeah, I mean that's the crux of the sacrifice,
Sure.
And,
sure.
Yeah, so it's a dinner party. They're celebrating Alexander's birthday, and then while they're eating dinner or sort of enjoying the time after dinner, they're just enjoying each other's company. They get a message on the radio.
Yeah, we hear some noise of fighter jets.
Yeah.
And then they hear a news program announce that what appears to be the beginning of World War III.
Yeah.
Which
or
is
the beginning of a nuclear holocaust, which, I was not expecting Tarkovsky to pull that card. That seemed so that seemed like such a plot-driven move.
Yeah.
For
and
a
it's a
director
big
that's
swing for him. No, he's not really.
Tarkovsky's movies are not plot-based. I was like, whoa, is this going to have a trajectory? Or and it does in a sense, but it's not what we think.
Yeah. Alexander does not go to war.
No.
This is not Full Metal Jacket, guys.
Yeah. You think... Well, that's interesting, though, because even from the beginning where Tarkovsky shows shots of, a hypothetical post-nuclear society, which we don't really realize until later on what he's showing, or... But, the color... Is it the color grading that's different or something? I mean, something about the pictures, noticeably different to where you understand that that's not the reality that they're existing in.
Well, it's a good question. I think we might get into this later, but is this actually happening?
Yeah.
Is this real?
A little bit of Mulholland Drive. We haven't done the episode yet, but we don't know how much. There's a lot of Alexander going to sleep in this movie.
Yep, very much like Stalker. It gets a little confusing.
He spends a lot of time asleep, and you could argue that a significant portion, in some instances, some of the most important, thematically important moments of this film are taking place while Alexander is asleep or in between segments of him sleeping, and so
kind of
you
hallucinating.
You don't know what is real and what's not. And that's the beauty of it. I mean, it's
and we also get those. We also get the flashbacks of black and white. And, that builds up through the film too. But yeah, I mean, and as the news program's going off,
it's heavy to watch, dude.
And it starts getting very dark.
Dude, it is.
It gets dark outside. It gets dark thematically. It gets the color grading.
They have to
really...
sedate his wife because she's having a panic attack. It's kind of disturbing.
It's good. We've got the movie on in the back.
But Tarkovsky, he's just poised, man. He's like, he doesn't. It's not over the top. It's pretty understated, if anything.
I've never seen a scene get away from him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's really probably the only director that I can say that about.
And then
it's always within his grasp, and he's always like cool and collected, and it's just always hitting.
So the news of the nuclear holocaust breaks, and you kind of just the interesting thing, and I think this is such like a stroke of realism in a fictional body of work, obviously, but I think the interesting thing is that when the news breaks, everybody kind of goes off into their own corner and just like quietly processes it.
Yep. I mean, no one's talking.
Nobody's talking. They're just
sitting in corners. Some people go upstairs. It's
everybody is like just.
And this is what I'm talking about. We're watching the film right now, and this scene is so dark.
Mm-hmm. Also, the blocking of that scene is just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's very
How people get up, how it's centered, where people are facing.
Yeah, the wife has, I would say, more than a meltdown.
Yeah.
And they do have to sedate her.
Mm-hmm. The most interesting thing during all this is that what Alexander repeats multiple times is, "Don't wake little man up." He's gone to bed for the night.
Very interesting.
He's gone to bed for the night.
It's like, do you want him to die in his sleep? Do you not want to scare him?
It's preserving his innocence. I think that's a big thing. I mean, you could just, Tarkovsky's obsessed with the innocence of children. Also, Jesus was portrayed as a baby in that picture, so there's innocence there and purity. And I think, that being maintained is, also notable.
And then, like I said earlier, everyone's kind of calmed down and sedated, and then we get this one of like the best monologues ever from Erling Josephson, and he's sitting down and just facing the camera, and I actually got it wrong before. He says that he will give up everything to
restore everything to how it was before.
Yeah.
That's the whole notion of the sacrifice in this movie.
He wants the war and stuff to be undone.
Yes.
If he has to give up his family.
He will do anything to revert the world to what it was, before the news broadcast.
And it's just a devastating scene.
Uh-huh.
And that's one of my favorite Tarkovsky scenes. It's probably a top 5. I remember the first time I saw this, I started tearing up. It is so just impactful and emotional. And he just kind of starts like looking into your soul.
Yeah.
And
let's talk about Tarkovsky's physical state too.
I was gonna say that this is, I'll give up my family whom I love.
Which
I'll destroy.
Don't
want to
skip to the end, but
he says I'll give up little man.
Yeah. That's a big burden, that's a lot to promise.
He says he'll be mute, going back to Andre Rublev. But yeah, I think that, look, this is a devastating scene, and it's an impactful scene. But when you know where Tarkovsky was when he was writing this, it just adds a whole nother layer, and it's very devastating.
Can I interject really quick?
Absolutely.
Well, shout out JSTOR, first of all. Lovely website if you like you some scholarly articles. The author,
hope you're listening.
This is an essay by Thomas Ode. I hope I'm getting your name right. It's called "Time Sickness" and Andrei Tarkovsky's "The Sacrifice." There's a great quote that I really liked, saying, "Even though Tarkovsky endured the ravages of lung cancer while making the sacrifice," so he was on his deathbed.
Sure.
Tarkovsky can be read as a physician of culture and world, and not simply as its patient. I really enjoy that.
He's trying, and this goes back to Stalker. Solonitsky, or however you say his name, the main guy in Stalker, he was supposed to be the lead in Nostalgia and The Sacrifice, but he died. he got cancer
from the conditions
from
of the film.
from the
That
stalker.
is just ridiculous.
And Tarkovsky had cancer during this because of the soccer shoot. His wife would later die.
His life is so fascinating. I mean, it's terrible. That
Yeah,
happened,
but
like,
it really is just so fascinating. I mean, if he doesn't get cancer, does he make this film?
probably not.
I don't
dude.
think he does.
Yeah. I wanted to go on a little bit further with the quote because this is sort of he basically like gives a thesis statement of what the film's all about. With the thematics of the sacrifice in mind, one can make an initial diagnosis. The loss of spiritual values has condemned the world to undergoing constant technological threats that range from Chernobyl to World War. To the detriment of spiritual life, humankind has become the victim of its own world. World mastery, achieved through a pernicious and volatile concoction of power, technology, reason, and cynical instrumentalism. That's true. So basically, Tarkovsky's like, humanity did this to ourselves. Like,
Yeah.
we have. It's the Tower of Babylon. You know, we've built ourselves so high that we are ultimately destroying ourselves.
Yep.
And in this case, it is a nuclear holocaust that humanity is faced with.
And it's just incredible. I mean, it's like you really feel his heart in this, and you can just see that like
He's so worried for us.
He is dying soon, and he is not happy where the world is at.
No, he's scared
And it's
for
devastating.
He's probably scared for his children.
Yeah, it's very it's just incredibly emotional.
This is sort of an aside, but isn't this almost ironic that like the Zone was portrayed as, you know, this mystical place possessing, you know, powers and stuff, but when they actually shot it, like exposed them to nuclear fallout and radiation, which is essentially like kind of an altered state, and they came back as like mutants, you know, like
Yeah. Literally, it was
I mean,
it literally gives it a meta
it spawned
quality.
cancer. Yes,
It literally gives it a meta quality to where it's like that, like actually.
it was
happened.
the Zone. Yes,
Yes.
yeah,
And it's like,
yeah.
well, I mean, when you shoot at a nuclear power
waste, yeah,
plant that's, you know, been left to die, you know, that's probably not the safest thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you wouldn't have done that today.
No, definitely not.
But yeah, I mean, it's incredible. I don't know.
And so right now we're looking at Erland walking around the post-nuclear world. It's all black and white.
Dream state.
Yeah, it's a dream. Oh, is this the dream state? Not the...
Well, after he prays, he climbs up into the couch, and it seems that he falls asleep.
Mm-hmm. But this is the post-nuclear world, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Because he cuts between the shots of the post-nuclear world a lot, and so this is just him processing that. But I guess we should get to the crux of like what the sacrifice is, and
I mean, yeah, I think that
we'll introduce the character of Maria first, I guess.
Yeah. So Maria is kind of like their maid,
Which is interesting. She's
she's
portrayed as like socially or societally the lowest
outcast. Yeah.
Yeah, the lowest character. She lives far away from their
Stalker shot.
Yeah.
Literally.
You know, Erland's house is very nice. It's a beautiful home.
She does not.
Maria
look nice.
lives many minutes out. She has to make a long bike ride trek over.
She seems to be
Yeah, she's lower class.
sick.
She looks sickly.
kind of.
She lives alone. Mm-hmm.
Just an outsider and an interesting character.
She's unmarried, which is also very important.
And yeah, and
I mean,
and earlier in the film, Alexander's like, Maria's very interesting, isn't she? She's
Mm-hmm.
like telling Otto and them like that he's just like interested in like her kind of aura and like her character. What the heck? Yeah, it, like
crazy. He
it
wakes
turns
up.
into a horror movie for a little bit.
it is kind of scary, dude. It's
Yeah, sure. I mean, if you're watching this at 2 a.m. with the lights out, it's like, what is going on?
and you don't know what's real. I mean, it is.
Sure.
That
The
what
editing is like just crazy. But yeah, so after, like, we have this dream sequence, and Alexander wakes up, and he takes a pistol from Victor's medical bag. Victor is like the family doctor.
Mm-hmm.
He was just kind of there when all this went down. And he gets on Otto's bike, which we see earlier in the film.
Well, Otto first instructs him to do. It's not his own.
That is true.
It's not his own idea.
That is true. And
Otto comes climbs through his window
in the night.
Yes, in the middle of the night.
Yeah,
this is Sweden too, so the sun never really sets.
that's true. Yeah.
So I assume it's 2 a.m. or something ridiculous
And he's saying that there's still one last chance
to save the world from
one last
nuclear extermination.
Excuse me. Sorry. Yeah, he's saying that Maria can do it. He's like, Maria?
Yeah.
He's like, what's going on? And at this point, is this actually happening?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
Any thoughts on that? I mean, I don't know if I have an opinion. I really don't know.
I think I don't want to jump the gun because I do want to explain and examine Maria's character first.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to answer it. We can answer it later.
I will answer it later,
Okay.
but there's definitely a surrealism within that leads me to believe that some of the things that occur are not real.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah. Just which ones, why which ones.
But I guess we'll just discuss the elephant in the room. Maria, her name. It's pretty close to Mary, right?
Sure.
Unmarried.
Sure.
Lives alone. She's fairly young, you
Outsider.
know.
We've said that 18
Yeah.
Reiterating that.
Otto presents to Erland.
Alexander. Erland is his real
Is his
name.
real name? Yeah.
Alexander's
Presents to
very
Alexander that she can save the world.
Yeah.
And so it's dude, Otto's being really goofy in this. He's sneaking around. He's kind of sleuthing. I love what's that actor's name?
Oh, Otto.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let me check.
Sorry.
I want to shout him out.
I think it's goodness, I can't think of it.
Alan Edwall. Shout out him. He's phenomenal.
But yeah,
he's so quirky.
Otto also tells him that she is a witch. Air quotes.
Yes, she possesses supernatural powers.
And whose quote, love can bring in peace. What? So we start getting really metaphysical here.
Also, Otto's very quirky. From the beginning, he's shown as a very strange
character.
He's an interesting egg, dude. And so, as a viewer, you kind of take what he says with a grain of salt. I think that's what Alexander's doing too. He's like, sure, man, whatever. Let me go back to sleep. Because Erland is clearly, Alexander. He's clearly, he's still very distraught from the news of earlier, and he's also just tired. You can tell. Mm-hmm. Otto's going on this rant, and Alexander's half asleep, and he's like, "Why is this man in my house?" And Otto just kind of looks insane. He looks crazy. He looks crazed.
He's Jack Nicholson's the Joker.
Yes. Yeah. He's very
erratic and
he's
he's just very an interesting guy. So Alexander gets on Otto's bike and he rides over to Maria's house. Mm-hmm. And at this point we're thinking, okay, what's going on here? You wanna explain the rest?
Yeah, so essentially,
he does. Okay, wait. This is important.
Okay.
He does seem to wake up. The colors change, and
yes, the color grading in this film is super. Oh, and that's
it.
You see, okay, so right before he leaves, you see Mary surrounded by the Magi, and then the rest of the secular world, and everybody in the painting is gazing.
And that's I guess that must be in the house because
Yeah,
Is that
it
a
is.
reflection from
Yeah,
the window?
yeah. So he must have it in the home,
sure,
but
in his room.
it's just so fascinating. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
so genius. Oh, to change of his free will into a work of art.
yeah.
Ooh, man.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you talk about Bergman's writing, and give him some respect.
Yeah. And this just looks so beautiful, man. It's gorgeous. The picture's amazing.
So,
So, oh, and like, but I do want to say, Alexander's like, it's not a clear-cut decision. He's really deliberating here. He's like,
he's also being very sneaky.
he's torn up, and yeah,
He doesn't want anyone to know that he's going over there or whatnot. So he does take the pistol, puts it in his pocket. You know, we're like,
a little bit of Hitchcock.
yeah, very, very Hitchcockian, I would say.
That spiral staircase is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, and then he goes into the little man's room.
Yep.
Oh, I forget about the scene. You're not sure. He has the pistol on him, and you're not sure if he's gonna.
Oh yeah, like
Because you sort of wonder.
kill little
yeah,
man?
yeah, or like, you know.
just to relieve him.
Yeah,
from-
mhm.
Yeah, sure. And this is also very weird. He walks out of the house.
They're eating outside. They have a table
Yeah.
set out. Stuff
It's-
starts to get weird, and you're like, what is real? And
It's
what's
one of
not?
those things where
Yeah.
it's like you said, Sweden, you know, sunlight, it can be weird and stuff. It looks like it's 4 a.m. and they're at a table outside.
Yeah.
This doesn't make any
This entire
sense.
sequence looks like a dream state.
And I don't know if that's a color grading or the time they shot it. It looks
I think it's a combination of both.
very dark.
But with him sneaking around, there's so many, like, the paranoia, the sort of really peculiar task that he has to go do. It's dreamlike. You know what I mean? Like, everything about this sequence just seems like a dream state that you'd wake from, and it just feels super hazy. And so yeah, he eventually goes over to Maria's house, and the way that Otto explains it is that the only way that he can, you know, prevent the world from nuclear extermination is by sleeping with Maria, which is fascinating. You know, I mean, Tarkovsky obviously made Maria out to be. I mean, she's living in like a shack. There's go back.
Okay.
Is that a
He
cross?
said, "Go back right now."
Is there
I believe that there is some icon.
some
religious-
Christian? Yes. Yep. There's a cross.
There's a cross. What
Uh-huh.
was before this?
Oh, that's Mary. I think it was a tapestry
The-
of Mary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh huh.
Wonder what that says.
But yeah, she lives in a shack, presumably a virgin, and the only way that Alexander can save the world. Oh, he washes his hands first, which is crazy
Sure.
too. I mean, that's just
There's
this-
a piano.
Yeah. But the only way he can do it is by sleeping with her, and it's so interesting that like him indulging in temptation or doing something that's. I mean, if it is like married, like that would be sacrilegious. You know, it could
It'd
be
be very,
interpreted as that.
very immoral too,
Mhm.
from just
Yeah.
from a Christian stance. you
Yeah.
know,
Uh-huh.
just having
That this
sex
is-
on a whim
yeah.
is seen as immoral.
That this is the only way to save the world. It's super interesting stuff.
And his eyes are just black.
Yeah.
It's
And
incredible.
this, yeah, it still feels like a dream state. Everything is so
Absolutely.
strange.
They talk and he's.
And then you
Let's
just get
let's
this-
not forget this, okay? Because we did forget. I forgot to talk about this in Mirror, the levitation scene.
Yes.
Okay. This is
Talk about some surrealism
So
or some
in-
formalism, man.
so
This is-
in Mirror, the wife or the mother.
either one. I don't know. That's the whole point.
She like is washing her hair and then like she starts floating. If you saw our episode,
Yeah.
it's the poster that we put as the
Mhm.
image. And she just starts levitating, and her hair is just like kind of draped down.
I mean, add that to the tally of Tarkovsky like drawing upon himself and improving what he's already done.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So they start to, they start kissing and stuff,
Yep.
and then they like, they start making love, and they start levitating together,
Mm-hmm.
and they're turning.
I mean,
This
it's
is one of the greatest
Technically
images.
astounding. It's very Lynch, actually.
It is. It's very Lynch, and it's like, how do you do this?
It's some that looks like it's kind of Twin Peaks, a little bit of Mulholland Drive.
Sure. There has to be like a spiral mirror table
Yeah, it's incredible. I don't know
that
how
they're
they
turning
do it.
or something. Don't ask me. Um,
That is incredible. I don't know how they did that.
just love me. Yes.
Yeah.
Some Han and Leia stuff.
Sure.
That was
Yeah.
a joke.
Yeah. Yeah, really, really supports the high art argument.
And then we get this. We go back to the black and white images.
Of the nuclear world where there's a bunch of
Just chaos.
debris falling and it's slow motion, and
Death.
people are running around. Yeah.
I do want to. There is something at the end of the shot. I don't remember, but yeah, there's people. I mean, it's just a chaotic world, and it looks like a secular world, or at least from Tarkovsky's eyes. I think it's kind of
Definitely,
what he's
yeah.
portraying.
Or just humanity that created its own demise. Like,
Sure. Is this? Yeah, that's what I was thinking it was. Look at this. That's a little man.
wow.
That's. I mean, what does that mean?
I
again.
was literally just gonna say that is Tarkovsky.
Sure.
It's essential. Come on, man. Sorry, if you didn't.
Sorry, nudity.
Yeah, he cuts. He does like a slow dissolve fade from the painting to the daughter. And I wasn't prepared.
It's not for no reason though.
If you juxtapose those two songs, you could. The way I would describe it, it's like someone writing a cover song.
Yeah, sure.
It's,
He's like
it's
playing
their
it
own-
out in his own
or
version.
He is sampling the painting in the medium of film. and
It's a
making it his
visual
own.
painting.
Yes.
It is the painting in visual form.
In modern times too.
Sure. Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
Little Man is depicted as Jesus, and then the rest of the world is, secular and in ruin.
Yep. And after all this,
So genius. The cutting between those two, Tarkovsky he's incredible.
So after all this, the wife comes in, and
Just how everything is reinforced.
and Alexander is sitting on the couch where he fell asleep. So did any of this actually happen? I don't know. I don't
That's
know.
the wonderful thing.
He's
man.
just toying
Yeah.
with it
I don't know.
at this point.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's nice to be able to wonder both ways, It's
sure.
so much fun that you don't know.
Yeah, it's ambiguous.
Yeah.
We love that.
This is so Mulholland Drive, dude.
But then, in what way? I mean, kind of. I feel like any dream state ambiguous thing could be associated with kind of a Lynchian
Yeah, but I don't know.
technique. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. But
I
still
do
think it is
understand what you're
Mulholland
saying.
Drive.
I do
still
understand
think
what
it
you're
is,
saying.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, that's why Lynch is one of the goats.
For sure. Oh, he's so me.
Now this is important though because he fell off the bike going to Maria's.
Ooh, that's a good point.
And now his leg's hurting. So now we go back to think that did happen.
So
He's
good.
just
So
he's
good.
just he's toying with us.
And so we got to check beer. That's our major. That's our livelihood right there.
So
Meters, man.
So yeah, he wakes up and then we
He's
we
filled
get
out half the promise. What did he promise to do?
I don't know, you tell me.
Well, he promised he'd give up his family, and he promised that he'd
Give up his house.
give up his house.
that is true.
I mean, you could interpret, being with Maria as giving up his family.
Now I do want to ask you this.
So he has to give up his house now.
Do you think Little Man is the child of Alexander and Maria? Because some people have put this forward. It's an interesting thought. Because that actually makes sense if you think about it.
No, but
thematically, symbolically,
it definitely would make sense.
does.
But like,
in terms of the story and plot, and
it seemed like that was our first time, like his first time being at her house, and it.
Sure, probably, but
who knows?
I don't know.
It's an interesting thought for sure.
But yeah, now we get this, climactic sequence for about 20-30 minutes at the end. That is, I would say, like summation of Tarkovsky's career. And
yeah,
this is the last thing that he ever.
It's
shot.
the crown jewel, man.
It's the last thing he ever shot.
Yeah.
It's like, is it the best ending? Probably not of any of his films, but
I'd say it is.
Rublev.
Oh yeah.
Stalker.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, dude. there's just so many. Also, Mirror is very touching.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh man, the blocking.
Yeah, through the trees and stuff.
So genius, man.
Yeah, let's just get to this. He starts putting chairs together. He starts putting wood together.
A lot of wood and flammable objects. He just starts stacking it.
And
he's crazy. Mind you, it's finally the morning, and the color seems to be normal. But Alexander seems to be very distraught and like crazed.
He's
and
different.
Not
He's
a sound
a changed
yeah,
man.
Yeah.
Whether that stuff happens or not,
the same.
He's different.
He's not the same. He looks delirious, definitely experiencing some sort of like episode.
Yep. So, and then he lights a match.
So that's crazy. He's wearing a kimono with a yin yang on the back. But
incredible.
I mean, come on. Talking about balance.
It takes a little drink. One good shot for a good measure.
What does he have to do to balance the secular world? And it's kind of like Noah's Ark in a way.
Sure.
We're just like clean slate.
He wipes it clean.
Yeah.
Oh. God.
Do you want to talk about the history of this?
Yeah. So there's not much to it. It's just famously they built the house to burn it down.
This is why you shoot on digital, folks.
They built the house over weeks, months, I believe, and
they grabbing his leg, man.
They burned it, and Nyquist was not filming. The film got jammed. I think
that is devastating.
Yeah.
That is like.
It cost him a lot of money.
That
is
the band getting the perfect take, and you're like, Pro Tools crashed.
Yeah, it's like take 80.
Yeah.
And
yeah, seriously. And everybody wants to go home and tired, and they don't have it in them to do it again better.
And then we get the families just running after him, and
wait, hold on, turn the volume up.
We get the
is.
Also, I also want to say that
we haven't talked about Bach yet, dude.
That is true. I do want to say this goes back to John Ford and the Fabelmans and David Lynch playing him and stuff. Where's the horizon? It's at the top. That's pretty nice.
That's genius, man.
That's nice, dude.
Yeah.
It's an amazing shot, and we get the horizon at the top.
I thought the music was playing.
Nice.
Okay.
Copyright.
Interestingly, Otto is not there.
No. Oh, dude.
Is that Maria?
Yes. Look at that shot. The color is incredible. Look at this. Look. Oh my God.
Probably the greatest shot ever. And then he just
falls to his knees.
To Maria's feet.
Yeah.
It's the painting, dude.
He's kissing her hands.
It's the painting again.
Wait, let me.
All right, now it's time to bust out the Bach. Here we go.
Things somehow start exploding. I don't know how that works.
That's the nuclear bombs.
Not really, guys.
No, it's not.
And the wife is like, "Don't touch him."
Yeah.
And the house falls down, and then we get the very last scene. Maria riding a bike, Alexander coming back in the hospital car, and little man watering the tree. And we're just going to watch this out now.
Okay.
Look at this. Horizon at the top of it as well.
So the house is burned. He's completed everything that he promised too.
He's coming back in the hospital car. Oh, look at that picture.
It's amazing.
Little man, that would be.
Little man is nurturing the tree, which we have, noted that symbolizes, or as a
faith.
Yeah, faith, hope.
He's watering
the future of
the
humanity.
Tree of life.
Yeah, It literally is. And then the
There it
box
is.
starts. Turn it up.
He said, "Turn it up." We're gonna get copyrighted now.
I don't care. It's Bach. Folks, film doesn't get much better than this.
It's the great concoction of many things: music, visual, film. Everyone just seems to be kind of distraught still.
There's Maria.
Sure, yeah.
Maria and little man. Jesus and Mary, dude.
It seems like she's checking up on her child. I mean, come on.
That would make sense, actually.
Yeah, it really.
Especially when you...
And then Maria's riding off in the distance, very similar to the ending of Mirror.
Will you turn it down?
It's just so incredible, dude.
Yeah. When you pair a musical behemoth like Bach with
Bach, the GOAT.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, with just with Tarkovsky, I mean,
And the best cinematographer to ever live. This is it. This is the movie.
Yeah. It's the best music, it's the best film, it's the best direction.
Yeah.
I mean,
And then little man finally speaks.
first word of the movie.
And it's the last words that Tarkovsky ever wrote.
Mm-hmm.
And it is, "In the beginning was the word. Why is that, Papa?"
And then we
And
pan
just
out to see
pan
the
out
tree.
the tree. Yeah, we just slowly pan
With
out the tree.
both of Alexander's tasks completed, and now as the tree's watered. Yeah.
In the beginning was the word. Why is that? All about faith.
Yeah.
All about why.
Yeah.
Questioning.
Yeah.
It's just it's incredible stuff.
And he watered it nonetheless. You know what I mean? He still asks.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about and this is the final shot, and the credits roll. It's a masterpiece. The text of this Erbarme dich translates to, "Have mercy, my God, for the sake of my tears. Look here, heart and eyes, weep bitterly before you. Have mercy, have mercy." So Bach seems to be, in a similar place, that the world has screwed up, and they need to be rescued from some supernatural or, a force that's greater than human. A God figure, if you will. So
Yeah,
it's pretty incredible stuff.
Yeah, I'm reading the end of Ebert's review.
Shout out Robert Ebert.
All of this is told slowly in elegantly composed shots with silences in between. When the characters speak, it is rarely to engage in small talk. The hero has a long monologue about the quality of our lives and the way we are heedlessly throwing away the futures of our children.
Mm-hmm.
When the man begs to make his sacrifice, he does so not by ranting and raving to heaven, but by choosing one of his own maids, a humble working woman, as a sort of saintly person who might be able to intervene. The Sacrifice is not the sort of movie most people will choose to see, but those with the imagination to risk it may find it rewarding. Everything depends on the ability to empathize with the man in the movie, and Tarkovsky refuses to reach out with narrative tricks in order to involve us. Some movies work their magic in the minds of the audience. This one stays resolutely on the screen, going about its urgent business and leaving us free to participate only if we want to. That is the meaning of a sacrifice, isn't it? That it is offered willingly.
That's great.
The great words of Raj. We love you. Rip.
I also think it's fascinating, when you talk about the future, and especially nuclear holocaust, people think about the children, what the future looks like. Adoration of the Magi. The centerpiece, it's Mary, but it's also Jesus. Jesus is portrayed as a baby. He is the youth. He's the future. Mm-hmm. Little man is the future. Like, it is... Tarkovsky is concerned for the youth of the world and the one that they're brought into and the state of it. And, what previous generations have brought upon them to save.
He was worried for people like us, like our age.
Yeah.
People that have grown up now in a world that's, not that he would have liked. Mm-hmm. Or not that... he didn't like the way the world was going. We've said that, but...
Tarkovsky would have loved TikTok.
What do you... No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. No.
Well, you think you would have liked Instagram Reels better?
No. Oh, maybe. No, I'm not going to say that.
That's probably
Andrei Tarkovsky is the Michael Jordan of basketball. Or...
You got that flipped.
I did get that flipped.
Michael Jordan was the Michael Jordan of basketball. Very good.
Tarkovsky is the Michael Jordan of movies.
Yes.
He is the George Washington of movies.
Ingmar Bergman is the LeBron James of movies.
I could see that.
Because everybody who plays today has him on one.
What about... What's Kubrick?
Maybe Kobe.
No, that's disrespectful, bro.
I don't know. Yeah.
Like Bird? No.
Who's
Magic?
Who's one that everybody says that or no?
That's like a director that everyone loves. And we're like eh.
Yeah. No shade to Kobe, but
maybe
not
really
Nolan.
Nolan. He's good, but not in the.
No, he wouldn't be. He can't. No, Nolan would be I don't know. I don't want to disrespect anybody. He'd be like a Blake Griffin, kind of a one note.
Oh,
well, he does one thing really. He dunks, No,
that's too far. That's like.
No, I think that's a fair comparison.
Dude, Blake Griffin's not one of the 100 best players.
Maybe Dwight Howard then.
Okay.
Sure, that archetype. He does. He does
one thing really well.
Yeah.
Although Oppenheimer kind of broke him out of that, I would say a little bit.
For sure. No, I agree. That's like Robin Lopez getting a 3-pointer. It's he can space the floor now.
What? It's just luck.
No. He's adding to his bag,
Is it it's like Draymond shooting a 3? It's luck.
It would be the Draymond film.
It's got to be someone.
Paul Schrader.
It's got to be Yorgos.
Oh.
Just someone that wrecks and is
Would not be Paul Schrader.
Very. Yeah, it could be, but Paul Schrader has to be Paul Schrader would be someone that played in the G League for a while. That was amazing because Paul Schrader wrote.
So you're calling Chris Middleton,
and then then he got to the league and was really good.
I guess Chris Middleton then, or some other G League darling.
Because Schrader, he wrote a lot of stuff, but then he went on to direct a lot of really good films.
I'd be reverse Brad Stevens.
Yes, sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Hope you like basketball. If you don't, you're probably very lost.
That's fine. I'm sure they're
hoops and film, man. They're one
begging.
and the same.
I'm sure they're begging for something very interesting.
Hey, next episode, Last Dance.
Okay, yeah, sure.
That'd be fun. There's not really. There's nothing. It's history that we'd be discussing. It's not film or anything.
Is MJ the GOAT?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're no reservations.
No.
I honestly agree.
LeBron's not the GOAT.
Do you think LeBron's 2?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're kind of in the same boat.
LeBron's he's the best player that I've ever during my lifetime. Yeah.
What is a player equivalent to the Incredibles?
Ooh. So you're asking for something that was good, but that's been done better a ton of times?
Oh, no. Stop that.
Maybe
Stop that right now.
Ray Allen. Because Reggie Miller exists, because Steph Curry exists.
Ray Allen's not been done better.
He was great. He won a championship. Ray Allen was awesome. He won 2 champions. He won a few rings.
What Incredibles-like movie has been done better?
Mission Impossible.
Heck no.
Yes.
Heck no.
Yes. This is Tarkovsky, dude. We're getting off track.
I do just want to. Well, we're basically done.
Yeah.
I do want to tell our listeners that last night we started discussing Jacob Collier, and Ethan said that he might rather listen to Imagine Dragons than Jacob Collier.
Listen,
one of the worst takes I've ever.
I went this past June. I went to a Jacob Collier concert. I went to a Jacob Collier concert. It was some of the most fun I've had in a long time. He puts on a phenomenal show. He is a lovely person. His energy is fantastic, and I love what he's doing for music. You will not catch me listening to any of his albums ever.
I didn't say albums. I said songs.
If it's an arrangement, I'll listen to it. If it's a song, probably not. He's a genius arranger. I love if he did a piano and vocal album, it would be great.
So
It'd be fantastic.
So you would rather listen.
He can't help himself.
So you would rather
listen. It's hyperbolic.
You would rather listen to thunder than sleep. Heck no.
Okay. That's comparing someone's worst song to someone's best song. That's not entirely fair.
Okay. I mean, yeah, sure. Okay. Anyway, Tarkovsky.
But if you don't like "You Some Demons" by Imagine Dragons, then
I don't.
Okay. Well.
I do like Tarkovsky though, and
yeah. For the sake of my music career, Jacob Collier, you have some lovely albums, and I listen to them all the time.
We got you on the record.
Yeah, but that supersedes anything I said before. So we're on great terms. Jacob and I go way back, But also, that's not something new. He's heard that before.
Yeah, sure. Basically, think of anyone that's the best in their field, and that is Tarkovsky.
And that is Jacob Collier.
We can just end it on that.
Because he probably is the best living musician today.
Really? Yeah, I think we've had this.
Technically based, yeah, yeah. Yes, he's the best living musician.
Pat
Metheny? No. I mean, Jacob's putting on his battle armor right now. He's suiting up.
Ooh.
he's doing a Rocky montage right now.
Pat Metheny, go.
Now, Pat Metheny's based. I would never say anything to disrespect him.
Okay, yeah, I think we're...
Hey, next episode, we are putting Pat Metheny's number out on...
his personal.
Yeah. Because Jacob's got that, man.
Hey, shout out to Jacob, man. I need that number.
Yeah.
I need to give him a shout out. Is he in LA?
LA? No, I don't know where Pat's at. Yeah.
If he was in LA and I had his number, man, come on. That's too easy. All right, I think we're just vamping now.
Yeah. We're wasting your time.
Up next, we're going to be recording some more Tarkovsky episodes. Maybe Fanny.
Maybe Fanny Alexander, hopefully. We need to get you a Bergman. We haven't got you one.
We need to get you Mulholland Drive.
We do.
All
right, this was a lot of fun. I think this is a really good discussion. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you to the 2 people who gave us 5 stars. Please watch my Instagram reels. I work really hard on them.
Ethan is like...
I'm a statistics fiend.
Obsessed with statistics, so...
Please.
We somehow got like 10,000 people to like start downloading our episodes. That would be just amazing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Share the word.
Yeah. Spread the gospel.
Yeah.
All right, Mason.
Roll that Bach.
Oh, it is Bach. Yeah.
Roll that Bach.
Well, yeah, Bach.